In a time long past, nestled between rolling green hills and bathed in warm sunlight, lived a humble shoemaker named Elias. He was known throughout his village not for his wealth, but for the boundless kindness in his heart. Every day he would mend worn-out shoes for travelers, often asking for nothing in return but a story from their journey. His small workshop, filled with the scent of leather and wax, was a haven for the weary. One sweltering afternoon, a stranger appeared at his door. The man's clothes were tattered, his feet were bare and bruised, and his face was etched with exhaustion. He didn't ask for shoes. He only requested a cup of water and a place to rest in the shade. Without a second thought, Elias welcomed him in. He offered the man cool water, a fresh loaf of bread, and a piece of cheese. As the stranger ate, Elias noticed his battered feet. He immediately went to his workbench, selected his finest piece of leather, and began crafting a new pair of sandals. He worked with a gentle focus, his hands moving with the practiced skill of a master. The stranger watched him in silence, his eyes holding a depth that seemed to reflect the entire sky. When the sandals were finished, Elias knelt and carefully fitted them onto the stranger's feet. They were a perfect fit. The man stood up, and a soft, warm light seemed to emanate from him, filling the small workshop. He placed a hand on Elias's shoulder and said, "Your kindness is a light in a world that can be dark. You have offered comfort to a traveler without asking for a name or a destination. Remember this. The greatest acts of goodness are often done for those whose stories we may never know." With those words, the stranger turned and walked away. Elias watched him go, feeling a profound sense of peace he couldn't quite explain. He never saw the man again, but he never forgot him. He continued his life of simple kindness, his heart full, never knowing that the weary traveler he had helped was not a man at all, but an angel sent to witness the quiet goodness of the human soul. Elias had passed a test he didn't even know he was taking. Years later, another story unfolded in a bustling city market. A young woman named Lyra sold fruit from a small cart. She was barely making enough to get by, but she always had a smile for her customers. One evening, as she was packing up, she saw an elderly woman shivering in the cold. The woman was staring at Lyra's last basket of apples, her eyes filled with hunger. Lyra's first thought was that she needed to sell those apples to buy her own dinner. But then she looked into the old woman's frail face, and her heart softened. She walked over, her own stomach rumbling, and offered the entire basket to the woman. "Please, take them," Lyra said softly. "You need them more than I do." The old woman's eyes welled with tears. She took an apple, but before she took a bite, she broke it in half and offered a piece back to Lyra. In that shared moment, a bond was formed. The old woman whispered, "An act of selfless giving is a gift to yourself as well. It enriches the soul in ways money never can." As she walked away into the crowd, her hunched form seemed to straighten, and she disappeared as if she were never there. Lyra went home hungry that night, but her spirit felt lighter than ever. She didn't know that the frail old woman was a guardian, a celestial being testing the generosity of mortals. Lyra's simple act of sharing her last bit of food had resonated in a realm beyond her understanding. These stories, of the shoemaker and the fruit seller, remind us of a powerful truth. We may never know when we are in the presence of something greater than ourselves. The stranger, the beggar, the person in need, they could be anyone. They could be angels in disguise, sent to test our hearts and witness our humanity. True kindness isn't performed for a reward or recognition. It's a quiet, humble act, given freely from the heart. It's helping someone without knowing their name, their story, or what they can do for you in return. It's in these simple, unseen moments that we show our true character. So live with an open heart, be kind, be generous, and be a light for others. You never know whose life you might touch. You never know when you might be helping an angel without even knowing it. Thanks for watching.